Welcome students for online classes. So today we'll continue under Indian Economy Chapter 6 Rural Development. In the earlier session we had studied how the credit or the loan facility which will be given to the rural people, that is the village people, to do any kind of business, to do any kind of agricultural fields, all these things. Today we will study about the agricultural marketing system. So what does the marketing system mean? What does agricultural marketing system means? It means once you do all the necessary things, that is the cultivation. Before cultivation, what is necessary? The credit, the loan facility that is given to you. After the cultivation process, what are you supposed to do? The farmers will be selling the crops to the markets. So how the marketing thing will be done, we will study now. A process which involves in assembling in the sense getting together the crops, the yield whichever you have taken. Next, the storage in the sense you keep somewhere, the products should be kept somewhere, the warehouse, the storage, the go down. So the storage, the processing. So once you take the paddy, you directly won't go to the markets and sell it there. So you need to process it, you need to take off the cover of the paddy. So it is a longer process. So processing, grading, packaging and distribution. Packing the particular thing maybe in any kind of gunny bags, all these things, and later on distributing the agricultural products in the market all over the country through the transportation process. For transportation process, what is necessary? The roads are very much necessary. With the roads, what is very much necessary? The vehicle. So transportation, this is known as agricultural marketing. So from the place, from the source to the place of destination, how the products is being taken, how the products is being marketed, all these things we will study under the agricultural marketing system. So first let's know what are the defects of agricultural marketing system. First one, lack of grading and standardization. What happens normally, as farmers will not be so much educated, they will be only some education which is important for them for the yielding process. So at this point of time they will be not knowing what will be grading, what will be the standardization, whether you need to segregate any kind of crops with the others. So all these things will be there. So farmers are forced to sell the produce or the production whichever you have done in common a lot. So what does it means? If you have 10 tons of rice or paddy, so what happens at this point of time? You should sell it to the middlemen or to the end people to a lesser amount. Why? Because of the lack of grading and standardization. The farmers will not be getting the same price for the both the superior and the low quality and superior, in the sense under paddy or rice, how can we segregate? We can segregate with the basmati rice with the normal rice. So there is a kind of standardization to the basmati rice and there is a kind of standardization to the normal rice. So that is the difference. So what happens when there will be no proper grading and standardization? What will happen? The people will not be knowing which is basmati rice, which is the normal rice, and they will buy both at the same time with the same price. So that is not good for the farmers when they put so much money, when they take so much loan. So that is the difficulty thing. Second one, lack of market information, which is very much important. Why market information is important? The farmers should know what kind of crops is demanded in the market, what is the price of the demanded crops in the market. For example, last year the rice or the paddy for 1 kg it was 30 rupees, but because of the lack of paddy or because of lack of rice, what happens? This year the price has been increased. So these information should be known to the farmers. Only then what happens, the farmers can sell their products into the market. Next one, lack of warehouse. So what happens when there are no warehouses, when there is no go down facility? Where will the farmers keep? So what happens? Normally I will give you example. This year I will be getting 10 tons of paddy. So the last year it was only 8 tons. So I sold everything and I got money. Even this year I got a bit more. The production was bit higher. So I will be selling the products in the market. I will directly sell the product in my market. So what happens? 2 tons of my paddy will be left over. So where will I keep all these things? It is very much necessary for me to keep it somewhere. I cannot keep my paddy in my home because I need to have my private life also. So what happens at this point of time? You need warehouses. So Absence of warehouse is also a major thing. And another thing, what happens, even if you have warehouse, the facility whatever the warehouse is been providing, that should be of a better thing. Maybe of rats, any kind of animals, any kind of insects should not be there in the go down. Maybe even because of the rain, what happens, it will be very difficult for the farmers to shift the products whenever it is raining. So all these things should be kept in mind when the warehouses or the godowns is being constructed. Next thing is about the unfair practices. So most of the middlemen, or most of the channels of distribution, who are the channels of distribution, the people who come in between the farmers and the end customer, maybe the middleman, maybe the retailer, maybe the wholesaler, all these people are known as the channels of distribution. So what happens at this point of time, the middleman will fake or he will manipulate the farmers by taking the products in a low rate, just because he might manipulate the person by telling this particular quality is not good. He will fake the market information. He will tell that only so much price is given in the market. So all these things, manipulation which will be done by the middleman to the farmers. Why? Because just to gain money for the middlemen. So all these things which will be done. Next thing, lack of transportation facility. What happens when there is a very bad weather condition, the transport, because of that there will be floods, because of that the roads will be thrown out, the all these things, what happens at this point of time, it will be very difficult for the farmer to reach the destination or send his products. Vehicle is also necessary, the roads is also necessary, the proper transportation facility plays a major role. So what happens when there are kacha roads, not the good roads or the pakka roads, when they are kacha roads, and you will be sending your eggs in the sense the eggs which will you be farming in your farming process. At this point of time, it is very much important for the transportation to be good. What happens at this point of time, if the vehicle might get accident, or at this point of time, what happens if the roads are not proper, if there are holes, all these things, what happens at this point of time, it will be very difficult for the farmer to reach the destination. Even the eggs might get cracked, so much money will be deducted. So all these things should be kept in mind while doing the transportation facility. Next thing is about the exploitation from middlemen. As I told earlier, as unfair practices which will be done by the middlemen. So what will they do normally? Maximum to maximum benefits will be given to the middleman other than the farmer. So what happens, the middleman will fake anything, he will tell anything, he will manipulate the person, he will take all the crops and sell it to the end customer with the profit. So it is very much important for the farmer to know whatever the market information is, to know whatever the prices the government has been fixed. There is even a thing called MSP, that is minimum support price, which we had studied much earlier. All these things which will be there, so the farmers need to know all these things. Okay, so these are the defects. So now what are the government measures for the defected things? Defected things, what we see, we saw that there is no proper go down, there is no controlling process, there is no proper market information. So the now government measures have been given to improve the agricultural marketing system. First one, organization of regulated market. A regulated market can also be called as the controlled market, where the government will control the marketing process. How the government will control? He will control by fixing the charges for weighing and commissioning, giving commission, etc. So what happens? Even based upon the weighing, based upon the quantity, what happens, the fixation of the charges can be made, maybe for a kg, for a ton, for a bag, all these things. Next, enforcing the use of standardized weights and measures. So how do they enforce? They will give the proper campaigns to the farmers, they will give proper information, they in the sense the government. Okay, they will give proper information, they will give proper campaign how the standardization can be made, they will be providing the fertilizers, pesticides, all these things. Okay, next thing, prevention of unfair practices. How the unfair practices can be prevented? By selling the products, that is the cultivated products, directly to the government or directly in the market without leading or without putting middlemen in middle. Okay, next, provision of market information. As told earlier, giving proper campaign facility, giving proper information to the farmers, which is very much important. Lastly, providing storage facility, settlement of disputes. If there are any problem between two farmers while selling, or if there are any problem between the farmer and the customer, or farmer or the middleman, all these kinds of problems, all these kinds of disputes, all these kinds of misunderstandings will be cleared by the government there and there. Okay, so these are the regulated things or the controlled things where the government will organize to the farmers. Next thing, cooperative marketing society. As the name itself tells, cooperative in the sense maybe many people combining together to do something. To do something in the sense, here in agricultural field, what do? They need seeds, they will go combine, they will go together to take the seeds, to take the fertilizers, to take the pesticides, all these things. In the same way, what do? They combine, many farmers combine together themselves and they go to the market to sell their products, all these things. By this, what happens? The bargaining strength will be increased. So what happens? How the bargaining strength will be increased? So there will be 4 to 5 farmers who are cooperatively doing. Cooperatively in the sense, maybe for a kg of tomato, everybody will fix a price of 30 rupees. But normally what happens in market, so there will be 5 members. If I go to a shop, if I ask for the tomato, he will tell 30 rupees. In the same way, when I go to the next shop, he might tell 15 rupees. So that is the changes. So those changes will not be there here in the cooperative marketing society. Why? Because the fixation of the market, fixation of the price will be done by everybody to take out the bargaining process from the particular marketing society. Next thing, promotes direct dealings with the final buyers. So as I told, there will be no proper middleman in the middle. In spite of that, the people will be directly selling their products into the market, which will yield a good result for them. Good result in the sense, the profit or the money which they get. Next, grading and the standardization. So what happens when many people come together? Some or the other one will be having some or other plan or idea of doing something different. So at this point of time, what happens? It will be very easier for the farmers to do all these things. So which grading and standardization combining together, maybe what happens, normally when you do combined study and when you sit alone and study, so there is a difference. So your friend might be knowing a bit more from the particular topic, you might be knowing some more from the particular topic, so you can discuss. So in the same way, cooperative marketing society plays easy and cheaper transportation. So when what happens, when you go alone, you need to pay 100. When you go together, you need to pay only 100. So that is the normal thing. So when you combine together, there will be only cheaper transportation facility. Next, provision of credit and market intelligence. So all these things, what happens when you go together, a particular individual might take rupees of 10 lakh of loan. So what happens, the interest will be divided among many people, no? So all these things will be given under cooperative marketing society. Next is the provision of infrastructural facility, that is maybe the transportation, maybe the warehouse, the storage, processing units, enhancing bargaining powers of the farmers. All these things, all the infrastructural facilities will be provided or will be given by the government to the farmers. Lastly, about public distribution system. So as I have taught this earlier in the earlier chapters, what is PDS, public distribution system, where the government will purchase the food grains from the farmers directly and they will give to the poor or the needy ones at the low rate of price. Not only paddy, maybe the wheat, maybe any kind of oil, maybe any kind of cereals, maybe the green gram, tur dal, all these things which will be given to the end or the needy people or to the poor people at the customized rate or the less amount of rate. This is known as public distribution system. So these are some of the measures which the government will give to control all the defective system in the economy. Next thing is about the emerging alternative market. So what does alternative market mean? The market where farmers directly sell the produce to the consumers, which increases their income. So directly, how the farmers will sell directly, in the sense, maybe you might be producing, you might be doing any kind of crops in the sense, any kind of vegetables, any kind of fruits, maybe beans, maybe tomato, maybe chili, all these things. When you yield in your home, you will be directly selling it to the market. So these are some of the examples for alternative market. So In Karnataka, what do we tell? We tell it as Raitara Sante. So, in a particular place, it will be for a day. Maybe in Madikeri, it's on Friday. In Kushalnagar, it might be in another day. In Somapet, it might be another day. So, there is differentiation of time in differentiation of place. So, in the same way, in Andhra Pradesh, you call it as Raito Bazaar. In the same way, Punjab, Apni Mandi, all these places they call by their own names. So these are some of the examples for the alternative market. And the last topic of this session, fast food companies. So what do the fast food companies do? Normally they purchase something for them to keep it for a longer period of time. So what does it mean? National and multinational fast food chains are doing contracts with the farmers to encourage the farmers to cultivate the farm products. I will give you an example what I have gone through. I have gone through in the sense I have seen these things. So everybody might be knowing lace. So from what product the lace is being resulted from the potato. So the people or the production process, they need a good quality potatoes. So for that, what will they do? They will come to the farmers, they will check the place, they will check the plot, how the plot is, how the cultivation process is being done. So what do the multinational companies do? They gave the seeds, they gave all the pesticides, all the fertilizers, everything. What the farmers need to do? The farmers need to plow the fields, they need to put the crops in the field only so much. The farmers need to only take care of the products, maybe from any kind of pests, maybe any kind of manure. They need to put all the things which will be provided by the company itself. So the farmers will be getting all the necessary money. So how will they get? So here what happens, the farmers will get money in return. How the money will be getting in return? So what the lace company do? They need only a good quality potatoes, that to the big quality potatoes. So what will happen for the small potatoes, or which is not eligible or which is not necessary for the companies? They will give those potatoes to the farmers itself. So farmers can sell the potatoes in the market. So by this the farmers will yield money. So this is a thing where I have seen or where I have gone through with the process. So this is a former example I can give it to you. So the companies, what do? As told earlier, they provide all the seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and they even give a predetermined price. Not only providing all these things, even for the plot, even for working by the farmers, the money will be given to them. Next, the companies provide advanced loan to the farmers, not only doing their thing in their plot. If the farmers is having any other place, any other acre of land to do any kind of thing, the companies will give them the loans. And another thing, what happens, not only the other plot, the potato might be uh, yielding a process of maybe 4 to 5 months. After that, what will happen? The land will be barren, it will be empty. So even in there you can put the other vegetables, or you can even in there you can do all the other necessary things. So the next thing, they provide good marketing facility to the agricultural product. How marketing facility? Directly the company people will directly come and take all the necessary things. So there is no involvement of middlemen in the middle in this process. So there will be no manipulation, there will be no unfair practices. All these things can be done under this particular process, which will be encouraging the farmers to do all the necessary things. So the assignment part, what do you mean by agricultural marketing system? Explain the measures taken by the government to improve the agricultural marketing system. Write a short note on alternative markets. Thank you, students.